437 and 0555 909 433. OCP Fertilizer Papa. OCP Yejnahoma Ghana and Africa. We are
Wana metesa wo ba no se wo kɔ Canada.
Oh, woko, okosuku.
Na yesi Ade Akye Abia no so okɔ na nso no de okɔye adwuma.
Me say, amanfo akɔ no. Enya gro.
Jaye no hwan na de won kɔ saa no.
Oh, Express Group for ya.
Express Group.
Yes, Express Group. Obia na nia bre. Pese otukwa kwa ama no ne de. Wode obekɔ simple. If you want to study and work in abroad in any of the advanced countries like Canada, US, Australia, UK and Germany, they will take you there. Next year visit and now turn so oko Dubai, Canada, UK, USA, Australia, and Germany numa wade obeko. Say ya juma so wade obeko Dubai, Qatar, and South Korea. And if you want to write an international test like IELTS, SAT, TOEFL, GRE, and GMAT, they will assist you to write. Hwehwe chira kwan e Kumase, Asafo Labor, Runabout wa, Enkran, Kanachi First Light, Tema Community 18, Lashebi Goy Filling Station, Sunyani, Silver House, Ewo High Court, Tamale, Ayama Building, Yabe Tamale, Teaching Hospital, Takrade, Market Circle, and our offices. Our my bebre so telephone 055-555-0067 and 0249-000448.
In this age, reliable and stable power supply is the bedrock of every development. However, a backup plan should always be for every business that wants to thrive to hit the ceiling. Peggett Engineering and Company Limited offers that plan. They are the importers of brand new original super silent Cummins and Perkins generators from the UK. Peggett is also the sole importer of comfy air conditions that comes with an inverter. At Peggett, we undertake installation and servicing of solar panels, generators, and air conditions with certified ECG installers. Here, everything is done in a professional way. Call now on 0244-599-124 or 0265-468-434. Peggett Engineering and Company Limited. Locators at Ahinsan Kumasi, adjacent the Kumaruman Rural Bank or opposite the China Mall. Peggett Engineering and Company Limited. The entity you can trust.
Sell brass watching the water call now butu Jenny sending in Ira. Kai won should appear no body crocro. Now Ubehunu said the Radia Yano Abaya Wanwa and Unti or Hinini Adazwa Ministries. Any women of faith a cabo watch shed that cruju my dear strong kwa to me as Shemuma was Sebra Nabani when young crumpon trade yampo and Nimpunimpu and you to a samoa a dead you my dear is one or Yabahunu Yohane Tibako Nimwadia Nansia Nanatania Busan say so Bibi Pebi bet to me a free Nazareth Yabana and a Philip Buano say Mumra Meshe now Radigo Suri Yang one with Juma 23rd August ya Jumadia Sun Queen Air Bus Water Chima Community Center and a panon crony fa pepe penua free asie akasa fone Apostle General Moses Osei the voice of power ministry Techiman prophet pa e won cry ohun kokro besane ne nkonua nyina be papai adwumtofo a ebe Jumadie yase ene Adomba Fosti Minister Audrey Ejapon ena Minister IBJ Sompa TV wotu nsafre obi biara ene wonso a wasua woni so abre sebra na ubenya dansidie Ohinini Adazwa Ministries any women of faith say Eradi any young Franca.
It's another new day. We thank God for how far He has brought His people. My name is Omanhene Yaw, Boakye, and I've always been your man in the morning on Sompa 93.1. And this is Ade Akye Abia. Joining us on the high building of 21st Clinic, I have to be precise. What are the news making headlines on government accountability series? Na Edru Kwame governs Abuja. Kwame Abuja a minister of roads and highways. Na onigana foshia ya all accounted for enema. Obeto ye ni di onu so so obeye no. Oyise sia no cabinet agiatum say omo anya the reintroduction of road and bridge tolls. It is a sia no enchebia no onam kwano so a toll no ubetia. Na omo ebeye a very modernized infrastructure. Omo de beji tolls no. They yentie Kwame Abuja.
The transition that we want to transition to electronic and automated tolling system, enhance transparency and auditability of revenue inflows, improve user experience and reduce congestion at toll points. The ministry has launched a concessionaire pre-qualification process so far. Public advertisements have been done. A pre-qualification conference was held on the 3rd of July 2025. 12 firms have submitted applications currently under evaluation. Proposed new toll rates have been submitted to Parliament via Ministry of Finance to determine the rates we are going to be charging when the toll is implemented. We are hoping that this will be based on electronic platform. There will be no physical barriers in on any road, and the tolling would only apply to roads that are engineered. We will notice that whenever government changes, there's this tendency for people to be interested in.
Kwame Abuja na wasadi atuja se enyadia ombehwe ama obia abeye adwumafun bia wo akwantempo no so. Or say every contractor who is given work should show competence. They will not tolerate shoddy work anymore. Kwame Abuja.
But going forward, everybody knows a road that was built which should last for 10 years, which is failing. What we are doing is to let agents of state who look into this to look into them. But going forward, we are saying that from now, contractors who get work must show competence and commitment to do the good job. For instance, we notice at the ministry that contractors get work, and then when they are asked to buy, let's say, performance bond, they go to an entity, the entity, without making any checks, give them some cover, believing that government will never come back to cash the bond if things go wrong. Let me sound this warning. From now, when you are a contractor, you do work, and the work fails without explanation, we shall cash the bond.
Okay. Now, road minister, Ena, asenso se ni ho adwiri no. Papa eye obi a no pa wi anwumre na okasetia single source procurement. Enso oba ye nema wo ye nyina no o yusu asenso.
It's now making a complete U-turn. It's troubling that the minister, who upon assuming office loudly criticized the Akufo-Addo administration for employing single source procurement method, is now making a complete U-turn. At today's press conference, Honorable Abuja, who once said, or once that who stated today that once you have engineers' estimates, once the engineers prepare the estimate for road construction, it doesn't matter the procurement method you use. He made this statement today. Is this not double standards? This blatant contradiction not only exposes his double standards, but raises serious questions about his integrity. You cannot demonize a method that others use only to defend it when you find yourself in the same situation. If the minister now believes that procurement should be guided by technical evaluation, as it should, then he owes the previous administration an unqualified apology for the misleading accusations. To conclude, I want to add that the Ministry of Roads and Highways is a technical institution, not a propaganda arm for political spin. If the
okay, Mami kwa homano so namine Honorable Francis Asenso Boakye. Honorable Mimwachi no pay. Honorable Asenso Mimwachi o.
Me so bru na me timo kate.
Now bomb to say
Radiatum na mpacho nso e.
Men so the adom na adom ye. Enra. Amisha ho. Enra na just say Ghana ha de. Ebia wonsam de twetne na ni nyina ne say wo se yewura Kwame Abuja minister or play double standards. Na okaseti a single source procurement. Ene niema bia ewo eye kwantimpo so bia na wo a wodi dwuma as roads and highways minister. De won wa say eniema okaseti as afi de o hye mu kena. Wada roma me ntie fa na wafom ana de be na enkoye nti mema be hia say woni sentrefo be din komoyi.
Yo, me da familia, ya me sure say wa frame no pay. De di kan no me be ntia kese ebe makuma seman asante man tititu bantma man o madaro mentia me wo ma hye ya me ye adwuma. De wo mu senra two issues na by, two events. Enra me opinion minister for roads and highways or press conference mo friend of government accountability series no ko kasa wase and am yan kasa so enra and am contribute to debate on this review of the 2025 budget media review. Now abra a press conference na okasa no onoma mienu epiemu a na me Judicial say me ka ho aso. Di kan na efa akwani akwantimpon a na Akufo Addo bae no waye oye ho adwuma obeye omapanyi oye ho adwuma. Onim say ma ba studio ho be bia makase bia no me ka say akwani akwantimpon a na Akufo Addo ye ho adwuma no 13,624 kilometers.
That's right.
And Honorable Abuja ko ka say wako Ghana nyina wa hu say yaye kwan bia oga. It's at 13,000 wa hu. And I make a say sa no kan dia enye the officials na e wo ministry ho compile data no. One from question now if they are that incompetent to compile data that is not on the ground on Sakiomo. Official now we're in charge, He's the only person Honorable Abuja has not reshuffled since he assumed office at the ministry. Meanwhile, the data data politician
technocrat.
Technocrat. Look at the ministry. There is a directorate called Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate.
Okay.
I'm gonna almost say we make a toso. We call so me wo no. The time I may hear you no. Omo kwa no compile data no see. No dey aba. Me say na say ya akudru. Na essence say adwuma den dia na Akufo Addo be ye no. Bodi beka say it is unsettling NDC because omo so mutumi nye say adwuma no. E di time bia Abuja benya akoya bia was nya no kre. Meanwhile, you are working on technocrats who compile that data. And the oil man here. And a man, the man who did the enra. The person Abra appointed no was say Akufo Addo government was the single source and a year juma. Now, most of the projects here are a single source. Then now, quite a press conference of Sako can say single procurement method no, it doesn't matter as long as engineers no are your or more estimate. That is a contradictory. They say no or prepare grounds to also do single source. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is the cry in Niasma, the Biaokano. And Lona, me dimu yaw. And Lona, me person me change say, me tulu say, only if you say, ministry no one, Omanhene. A new ministry Biatike, a ministra, a made up of engineers, planners, surveyors, and you maybe be by calculation, by mechanics, by mathematics. So, it's you fire journey and Abra winning the womb. It's a new ministry, you propaganda spin.
Now, just say a very technical.
A very technical ministry.
Okay.
I just say, you're propaganda. And no, whole press conference, then Rami. But on the floor of parliament, let me contribute to know. And this is what say about Baba Ye expressway from Accra to Kumasi. Already 3 years. In fact, less than 3 years. Any baby. And I may make a almost say, Omanhene, already no Ghana Hano at the Ministry of Roads and Highways. No, yeah, research. I remove feasibility studies. You dual carriage road from Accra to Kumasi. President Kufuor Bresso and all starting. Into Bekaya first no conquer. Now found Cocoa Crum. To say a year from Cocoa Crums. Okay.
Yes.
We a year a quite free in Sawam Crum. So okay.
Okay.
Am I yes, you know. It reduced several times by 2.5 hours. And to the Nanka, President Kofoni, who are everyone, the Nanka this for Bayan, so come back to us half jet. So, Oba no man yet Bakukra, Oman Yabakukra and Kafno. And I never for to buy no bet to us. To say, you know, ye a quano, every Osilo Crum, ye free Sawam Crum, ye free Konongu Crum. And I know, no, I'm a free Kumasi banker. We do a Konongo, we do traffic almost 2 hours. And on the level for our buying at 30, if you know, bypasses now, oh, you quite a free a Konongo room. It is 4 a friend say 4 bypasses there, and I you free the major good choke points on the corridor. And then Mahama Abaya Basse on Waso. Yes. Now already the engineers no officials now over the years now implementing on your new expressway. Now and me busa me and me busa say President Bakumaso or the car say expressway no you better start next year. Now obey and Sana, you were free office. Let's just say, in less than 3 years, I said, overcame. Now, me, I'm not a planner. I'm not an engineer. I'm a planner. I understand the language of engineers. There is no way Muhammad bet me issue less than 3 years. No, I'm building a new expressway, 6-lane expressway from Accra to Kumasi. And now, the minister says, I feel no more high consultant. I'm not by feasibility studies. So, feasibility studies. And so, the president was able to tell when they can start and when they will finish. I'm saying, starting on me, I'm a president Kai and I brought in your feasibility studies. No, it's just a lumjakeke. It's just a sales talk. It's a complete path on their part to do that. I want more, and I can't keke. Meanwhile, there is an existing project. Now the crew say, Omanhene, they don't say MP before they start here. And they don't want to continue. Now, if we say we are MPP in the Beji one munyam. Say bypasses no. Baku probably 100% complete. Others no from 50% to 80% complete. And it's kind of clear one. You say no schedule. Inka fatas can complete the area that done. So you raise our bypasses now. Now I can 96 or so of kilometers. I dual carriage on the road. Once we complete that dual carriage, you don't need a 3-lane, a 6-lane expressway from Accra to Kumasi. You don't need. And Kasai can fire other important roads that connected the country. Ama any manufacturing, any students, any tourists, any Ubibio to can be on.
Okay.
It is that expressway now. Under the circumstance. Say ya 30 projects that mo person mo ja project ni to na Ghana aboka keke e wo ho no it is not necessary as to say this before embarking on it.
Okay.
This I have very strong views on and I think Ghanaians should rise up and stop the NDC from wasting the resources of our country.
All right. You're Francis Asensomeda Siano paper. You're CP. Okay. Mama be your for Akwaba. Yaw Akwaba. Asante Sompa to say. Okay. Now, our penny your mama and Emma marriage tips. Marriage survivor tips. Now, Bakupa or kind say. Only in a year, I 33 years. Now, be too bad, be careful. Never argue with your wife. Never. What the Obana Kasi Kuya was you. But, you know.
Talents you have to have. Key talents you have to have to make your marriage last 33 years is to try not to argue with your wife. And I'll tell you a very funny story. When we achieved 30 years of marriage, it was a big celebration. And we were sitting in our pastor's office after church, and we're talking about the celebration that was coming, 30 years of marriage. And so my wife started saying that, Pastor, don't you see, 30 years of marriage, this marriage has survived because of me. That is me who's made this marriage survive. Otherwise, this man, who would want to marry him? And then I made the mistake of arguing and saying, oh, the marriage is survived because of me. I am the calm one, I'm the patient one. That's why the marriage has reached 30 years. And we're arguing. My pastor was looking at me in a very funny way. And so when we finished and we're walking to the car, he called me outside and said, why were you wasting your time? You know you can never win that argument. And so I cut it short, but I learned a lesson. So the next year was 31 years of marriage. And we're sitting in the same pastor's office. And everybody was saying, happy 31st anniversary. And my wife brought up the same subject and said, you see, this marriage has lasted 31 years because of me. And I remembered what my pastor said. And I said, yes, it has lasted because of you. And I thank God for your life. I couldn't have got a better wife than you. So she looked at me and she said, are you correct? Did you wake up well? So never argue with your wife.
All right. So that's also for another day. That's it. Scholarship funding shift. This year, scholarship will be awarded to 5,000 applicants. Why in the Kasa Kokwasa for JNT?
Delighted to announce the opening of the application for the local tertiary scholarship for the year 2025-2026. As part of our continuous effort to promote transparency, equity, and national development through education, this year's application process has been designed to be efficient, inclusive, and entirely digital. This year's scholarship will be awarded to 5,000 qualified applicants. The breakdown of the awards are as follows. 2,000 will be awarded to brilliant but needy students across the various tertiary institutions, which will be administered by the various faculties, departments, and units in various tertiary institutions, with a technical committee which will be set up by the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat to play an oversight.
For J, I don't know. Ono NIS Scholarship Secretariat Penini. Attorney General appeals for improved welfare of judicial service workers.
Throughout the country, problems that we face is staffing. Throughout the country, we have less than 400 state attorneys. Now, you realize that the Attorney General's Department or the Attorney General's Office is a government's law chambers, meaning that every problem that is legal in nature, that has to do with ministries, departments, and agencies. In fact, it is even worse in what I may call the rural regions of the country. If you go to Upper West, we have less than 10 state attorneys working for the entire region. It is even worse in Bolga.
Asamba kwa sabe told you say munyina mo be kai atoesien. Enche bia na yede ni phone ni bai beto ho se oyare na ne so ate wafon na abranche eba se First Bank First Capital na yesi sika kodi ni honom ne ade nti one abanda da no gitaudi na wo se gotua sika on plea bargain. When to me and just can entry and a jail no. Na papa those times we preach about bonse mama no. And a koba say you didn't akotwere aban kukum. Na yade no ne ade no ntina lawyer for e course papa no say yamboa no obewu. Court a court of appeal are granting no 10 million bail. Na omo pende appeal. Nti 10 million Ghana bail na de amano no. Satuesian I mean, himself be our baby bail no. Na yetimi ama na kogina home ofie na wotimi agina yare hwe ye. Hey jail in you.
10 million is 100 billion.
10 million is 100 billion bail. So won't me there na 550 billion. I so 90 million Ghana so it is 900 billion. Well, they did not give in a bail based on the Sikano. It's on health grounds.
Okay. It's a cow de Ghana no. 900 billion.
Aye. Which is 900 billion.
And almost the use on to be kind of 9 million, count 39 million. 39 million, baby, you know. I also go to 51 million more.
And a
offset the debt. I win your money could they say what ye cut 59 million.
79 million or may you 10 million.
May you 10 million, that man is on
10 million a bill. Bill, no, just say, or Jessica. Sureties. I prefer Japadian and your man, the boy 10 million.
The passport so or more at the AJ sana a condition. And now and I make say court in the jan court. Then we keep on saying the law is the law. The law is in the bosom of the judge.
There been a court in the jan, a court no jan no. Or see on health grounds. A human face.
Oh my.
Nipa no debut assembly yard say court no say nipa so na o court. You didn't call you didn't kratasem any a lawyer for no de medical reports to come out, you know. Oma who say papa no, obetime hu. Enti yama ni brefie no ma japom de ni wo ya de na e bi obetime tieska no. O wa hansi an ese atuese ewu a. O ko jiska no wa sama do na agwaji wo.
Oh Debbie me dey me nkan ni wa se mo say yen yo pa mo me screening of medical or prison facilities ni pa mo ya da ho we so mo bela mo gu ho.
That is screening now you know. So we just screening be asante. What you should understand is in this life there are protocols in this life and sentia and your peta. So one two ya say there be obenya issue. Now political prisoners who can say on someone you to almost just like the others. They are different. I'm telling you.
Talking about the issue involved. Yeah, over kono.
I know I say no.
Yeah, over kono.
Salome muko.
Obisika or see what do you cry? And 1,000 cities or the ha. And then it's my worry. And then Satia Penno. Obisika 1,500, 2,000. As I dema, our Sanka. Obi putting me 3 months uncle for you. What them? No way they are basic of 59 million. I want hope. And to say, yo, man, I said, yeah. Now I say, and maybe I had to. I saw them to chili. We don't to chili. I buy be whatever. One or peck or quiet. So, maybe yeah. It has a baby found to chili. Yeah, I'll be too. The baby found to chili. Yes, I'll be soon. I got Anamia Metani only about Majuli, a cocoa, Kumasi prisons near their day. And I make home say, Nipani be one more. Teacher on the man aside, on Momo that dem near their dinner. I could tell you be almost 70 one Mayana a trivia. Very. But when you come up for when one training sim about them 10 years. Or them it be a 5 years, or them 2 years, or them 3 years, or them 10 years. And or that one. If you want more cry, I'm afraid. E catcher and sebia oba uja no ho na kwala ne yare pa enti like prison officers no ehwe na sebia nipa na se ne raho e no se nipa de obia ye nipa tu won se na officers na gigi ska kakra no ma frɛ na busuafo no ofie se mo meje na mo mfa ne ba hospital but ke bia nko wa bonten na oye na dwuma ono abetima hwe na ebetima ye wiase ne de ege peda ye chinchim se Nyankopon eka so wo gisika nyina na ode abobia na wasa bo start foforo sa konta ye nyina ye start abrabo no why ata ebi de be ebi benye sika still se sika fo bebam enya fo bebam enya ni akota sa na wiase no be yi ntumi ntu hiase rakota me de nkomo ba ko wadina no pay ya me de mesre ye politicians no say baby aye duru no enough of ene me bi wono ma politics akonta yete ase na Monday na say Tuesday no yete say as not na Monday accident si wo Accra Kumasi road no so enkwala say bia foi akonta hwe enkwala no me omo pictures wa ha say ma me say enye say bia enkwala Kwala 19. Kwala kitten. And no crano. This was a national disaster. The whole politicians are. But I said, Brasebe je fie kura man ti say. Bogunu was Asante Achim. Asante Achim obogu. Ebewo that Jaso side hono. Men pibe no. Asante Boakye or something. Asante Boakye. Lawyer Koko Asante. What that's all Brasebe je fie. He should have risen up in parliament to make a statement. Yes. What he? Yes. Onka. MPC mum sa kontra hono ma. This was a national disaster. 15 no ma won that TV. There one yini kra yam say 20 years, 21. Sofo 25. Asofo ba ko ne ma mienu. Enkwala we yawu. Na mo de kwan na won kan no gra to pe. Etimi bo. NDC for be so mo ka kire say. Eti sa kwan na konongo de no. Osino de no. Omo ya de ne besi. Wo be ye 6 lanes. Wo di fie miensa. Na sika o man no up chana ye de ye kwan no. Enyo ma penjo mama no so oba. All projects are abana so be complete. Accra road and ka ho. Accident. Yeah. And no me who boy be okuta he say the government should declare Accra road as emergency and this ye man nipa faso and akonta now ya woni me ya adwense me se me nkra kwan so asante ye ko be mfie numni ne kwan konongo kra me nu no ya be de kra me nko o ma ka ya na me ne okọ ezekwo yes na me ka se me chair drive emra ne ye ko me ka chair driver ne se bra ye free konongo edi kosi nkokọ sa aye di bewura bypass no so no mesro when ko overtake him you dey articulator no so obawi akra no a ye ni na yenko akuta that point no and we are rough ubewu sisi e go kwan ni susu a and I say your mind dual no yes accident is so Kumasi to Ejoso every Kumasi to Ejoso accident BNC from Ejoso kra to Konongo unse kwan mu susu susu kakra omo ye yenche and baby aye 3 lanes a omo fresh san no accident tesipa edu aka bia be so che ne bobre sa Konongo ho no mo no a omo aye 3 lanes Oba besia say no when hu say we ya mele we susu hu no de ababe oba de ababesia akota mesre wo mo 3 years na president John Mahama say o de beye sesile obeyi 3 ato na nipa ewu o sa kwan no so no na nya asem ketwa akota me koje visa aba omo ko ye o ma biem no ye kase ye list wo kroma
ya wo koje visa aba boga be ko yini ne ma
boga ba be twa oforu kroma
boga ba be sia ko
yam no
ne ba me baba ko pe
yes
o kwa graduate o Legon
mo
o frin kai ba kuma se onim ni pa ewu na abusia to
ne ma ye basa
sa 6 lanes no ye kan tro man pani se ye hia onye sa
within
yaw sa fie me yaw ye hia on to be nye this was the Ghana 6-lane expressway Ade
the problem is this Omanhene Mama so be 6 lane on say already near wo akra to Kumasi kwan wo hodada me what I will suggest this month the president and say omonfa sasika no enye railway line nenya alternative what you say because some was kwan for no a was so the koto be for crowd which for me a misdirected project me see railway line Kumasi to Accra ye ni bi eno be alternative ba manfo akọ be use na Abera Valley transport and for that a land system
that's a very positive
$6 billion we e be content mama ye enu e fa bobo ankanum na nya fast na one fan connected regions
because
man ya o ma we say mu na easy corridor road every day bia
20-something years Eastern Corridor.
Every budget to be Amoka.
Rollins Eastern Corridor.
So what you say? ATN.
Another we imagine.
Oh my, so be Diana be monumental. Mahama, Omanhene Mama. Viensa na ye railway line for Kumasi to Accra. Enye new.
Review that. 6-lane express road 3 years it's not possible
and now my two
declare Accra Kumasi road national emergency
it's true me cannot take no here what tell Kumasi to Accra
yes
oh my and Ade ba ku bi
wo wie man kampe
oh my Ade ba ku bi man
abaw
oh my
brakota problem so say nipa do do say and e betimi afọ
enya sika afọ na airline ya in and out 4,000 in and out 3,800 passion ni awa obede akọ obi je tre nyina no no
o my Ade ba ku bi ma make to us minister no o mo bia kan se mo ka se be nimdie ni etrimu ana hwe rotos yom so ma be ye rotos efo so bia ni so because Ghana ha ekwan pio a to bia ni so mo fa ko mo ka be no mo kwa dwene ho se e wo se o mo ye to no eye kan wo twa se wo twa mo ayi na mo ka income tax no na ka bia ntwa bi ena benye se kese abu man no because
bia roto
debio ba man
azante we boss ya boss ya time aso ya passport ne mra ya nhwe ya sports no gra yenye abusiafo ya dane e ho aba o mo de tip off ba ba mo mo temi o mo wie ya mo samra na ehu hia e pa tip off mreni